stand by. Okay, fine.
His wife is not coming. Oh, grow hairs, so you don't have to say that part.
Good.
Room, 10 shot.
Carry on, please.
Oh no, we're not. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The ceremony will begin momentarily. At this time, please silence all electronic devices. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your narrator, First Lieutenant Shaquille James, and on behalf of Colonel Barrington, Commander, 91st Operations Group, welcome to Minot Air Force Base and the 742nd Missile Squadron Change of Command Ceremony. We are pleased you are here with us today to share in this important ceremony as we bid farewell to Lieutenant Colonel Bristow and welcome in a new leader, Lieutenant Colonel Schimonsky. Today's ceremony will have a unique format, but one that is required as our nation continues to fight the COVID-19 virus by maintaining social distancing. Though this situation presents small challenges, the traditions and formality of a change of command ceremony will still be on display, conducted with great dignity and broadcasted live on social media. Our ceremony today is a celebration of both continuity and change. Continuity in the form of a military tradition whose roots reach back through time to the legions of ancient Rome, to the passing of signets that once symbolized the transfer of command from one to another. Change, as this great command says farewell to an honored leader and welcomes his successor through a ceremony that differs only in style, not substance, from those of the Romans. Once the members of the official party have taken their place, please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem, followed by the invocation by Chaplain Brandon White. During the playing of the national anthem, military guests in uniform should stand at attention, while civilian guests should stand with their hand over their hearts. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party. Chaplain White, please come forward to offer the invocation.
Good morning. I invite you to join me in prayer this morning. Gracious and mighty God, as we gather here this morning to witness the changing of the 742nd Missile Squadron Command from Lt Col Bristow to Lt Col Shimonsky, we pause and we realize that all authority ultimately comes from you. Therefore, we give you thanks for the faithful leadership of Colonel Bristow as he has skillfully and faithfully piloted this squadron through both great accomplishments as well as the times that try the very soul of man, and guiding his airmen through their toughest trials. Lord, we recognize that leadership like Colonel Bristow's would not have been possible without the foundation of support that his family has provided for him. Therefore, we ask your blessings now upon Colonel Bristow, his wife Kim, daughter Sydney, and his son Dawson, as they turn the page to a new and exciting chapter in their lives. And now, please grant both wisdom and guidance upon Lt Col Shimonsky as he takes the command of this outstanding squadron, knowing, as Scripture says, to whom much is given, much is required. May his wife Tiffany and sons Jensen and Taryn rally around him and support him throughout his tenure as he dedicates himself to this wolf pack, the fulfillment of the mission and the service of his airmen. And lastly, as many wolves, one pack, one fight. May we dedicate ourselves to support Colonel Shimonsky, accomplishing this mission together, knowing that the best days are yet to come. For these things we ask in your holy and precious name. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain White. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. We are honored to have many special guests with us today. Special guests of Lt Col Shimonsky include his wife, Tiffany, their son, Jensen, and their son, Taryn. Special guests of Lt Col Bristow include his wife, Kim, their daughter, Sydney, and their son, Dawson. Distinguished guests in attendance include Commander, 91st Missile Wing, Colonel Glenn Harris. We would also like to welcome all other commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, friends, and members of the 91st Operations Group viewing on Zoom. Ladies and gentlemen, Colonel Barrington.
Thank you. Well, good morning, everybody. All right, and thank you so much for joining us today. A little different feel, and I'd like to thank everybody for joining us and being a part of this via Zoom. So I think it's nice that, well, we face a lot of challenges with how we're doing business right now, and we've got a lot of limitations and restrictions. One of the things that we've been very successful at is finding new ways to reach our airmen, to reach our family members, and I think we're actually able to reach more people with this ceremony than we would have been able to if we had done just a normal ceremony. So that's a really good thing. I think you've got family watching. You've got family watching too in different locations across the country. So thank you so much to everybody who is joining us today. Thank you to our family members who are here. Colonel Harris, thank you for being a part of this today. Appreciate your leadership and your guidance. To the Bristow family, thank you so much for being here today. And we wish you all the best as you head on to your next assignment. And then to the Schimonsky family, thank you so much for joining us today, because today we're going to recognize two incredible leaders. And we're going to celebrate Colonel Shane Bristow's command tour, and we're going to welcome Dan Schimonsky into the Wolf Pack and get him started on another successful command tour. So really excited for both of you today. Shane, 2 years as a commander of the Wolf Pack and doing an incredible job. The Wolf Pack is a great squadron, one where the focus on airmen, focus on teamwork, focus on mission is all exactly where it needs to be. And they have accomplished a lot under your leadership over the last 2 years. When we look back at all the things that have happened during your command tenure, it's been a constant theme that they were well led and that they were empowered and they were able to make decisions at their level. And when all those things were in place, it's obvious that they can accomplish a lot because the squadron has faced some significant challenges. And every single time your airmen shine, and they have done a great job. When we look back at the higher headquarters inspections that have come through, both the nuclear surety inspection and a unit effectiveness inspection, had multiple airmen, both facility managers and missileers, earn superior performer awards, earn superior team awards. They've been able to work together and just shine when they've got that laser focus from a higher headquarters. When the missile field has thrown unique challenges your way, whether it was different weapon system faults that come up, different personnel problems, or challenges, medical responses, everything, all the airmen, they rally together, they work together, they help each other out, and they make sure that the right thing is done. And that's just a hallmark of the kind of leader that you are. One thing that I've seen from you across the board is that you've always engaged with both your heart and your mind. And you've always wanted to do what is best for your airmen. And because of that, they've always wanted to do what is best for the mission, what is best for whatever the situation is and how it dictates. So I'm just incredibly proud in how you performed as a squadron commander and what you've been able to do for the Wolfpack, because you have truly helped everybody feel like they are a member of a pack. Many roles, one pack, working together. And that kind of teamwork is unique and really created something very special. And you've engaged our airmen and our families. Kim, you've done a great job of being there for the squadron and taking care of everybody. And it's been fantastic to see what you've been able to accomplish along with the other spouses in the squadron. And whether it's single airmen, families, everybody had what they needed in order to be successful. And then Dawson and Sydney, thank you so much for letting us borrow your dad. And I know it was a lot of long hours. It was a lot of, he wasn't necessarily able to be there for all those moments that you would have liked for him to be there. But thank you so much, because what he was able to do was incredibly important. And now you'll go off to Omaha together. You're going to be a deputy group commander for the 595th. Thank you so much for what you've done here. When you look back at your career, which you've done so much in the United States Air Force, I hope you look back at your time as a squadron commander. I hope this is one of your top highlights, if not the top highlight, because taking care of the 742nd Wolfpack, what an incredible opportunity that is. And congratulations to you. Job well done. Job well done, Shane. You did great. And thank you to your family. So Dan, over to you now, taking over the Wolfpack. You're the right leader to take this squadron on to the next level. And Tiffany and Jensen and Taryn got to talk to the family before the ceremony. And we had a little conversation upstairs, didn't we? Do you mind if we talk about that right now? Okay, so we asked, what's special about today? What's happening today? And you said, Daddy's going to become a commander. Okay, and I asked you if you knew what that meant. And you said no, right? So then I said, well, it means we're going to make him work really hard. And what did you say? For those of you who can't see in Zoom, they both of them did the little hand slap and said, oh no. And then, what did you say about that? You don't remember? You said, well, I don't want to be a commander. And that's okay. But what I tried to tell you, and hopefully what you'll come to understand, is that we're asking your daddy to work really hard for some amazing airmen who are some of the best airmen. And when he helps them, they are going to be able to accomplish even greater things, because he's going to make sure that they have everything that they need to be successful. And while he's going to have to work really hard to do that, he's going to be really proud to be able to do that. And his airmen are going to appreciate having somebody take care of him, just like he helps take care of you at home. So will that be okay? Okay, good. We've got a head nod. I think we're on board with the boys. So that's pretty much command in a nutshell right there. Dan is an incredible leader, and he started here in Minot in 2005, member of the 740th Missile Squadron, rose through the ranks, did great things, became a member of the OSS as an EWO instructor, and then one of the things that we did for you is we sent you on down to Vandenberg because we wanted you to teach, wanted you to raise more missile leaders. And you were able to do that, and you did such a great job. You became the EWO instructor there as well. And then we sent you to the air room and the StratCom, and you were working on building the war plan. And one of the things that you were able to do when you came back here, and you were a member of the 741st, I got to attend one of your brown bag lunches. And people had talked to me and they said, you gotta go to one of these brown bag lunches that Colonel Schimonsky puts on. So I go, and it was this great classified briefing that explained the why behind some of the targeting, behind the logic, and how it all melds together in the war plan. And the airmen of the 741st, armed with that knowledge, they know a little more of the why behind what they do on alert, and the why and all the different layers of what's happening above them, and how it all goes into the big picture so we can provide nuclear combat capability for the combatant commander at the United States Strategic Command. And you've done that in so many different ways. You've always helped your airmen understand the why behind the mission that they're being asked to do, because you care about them. You care about making sure that they understand how important everything is and how important they are in turn, because it's the airmen who makes things happen. It's our missileers, it's our facility managers, it's our civilians who have to get the work done so we can provide this outstanding combat capability that we provide. So your charge as a commander is to keep doing that. It's to make sure that your airmen have everything that they need in order to be successful, that they have the resources, that they have the professional development, the discipline training, all of those items, so that they can take care of the mission and that you can help them take care of their families, so we can provide combat capability for our nation. And in turn, we're doing something that makes the world a better place. So yes, we're going to ask you to work really hard to do that. I think you're going to find that it's the most rewarding job that you can have, and I'm excited for what you're going to do as a commander of the 742nd. And then with you joining the 742nd Missile Squadron, you'll now have the distinction of having been a member of every single squadron in the 91st Operations Group. So I think that's a neat achievement too, to have in a career. So congratulations to you, Dan. Congratulations to Tiffany, to the boys. This is going to be an outstanding command tour, and I look forward to everything that you're going to accomplish. So without any further ado, let's continue the ceremony, and let's recognize Colonel Bristow for all that he's accomplished.
At this time, Lieutenant Colonel Bristow will receive the Meritorious Service Medal. Please stand for the presentation of the award.
Publish the order.
Attention to orders. This is to certify that the President of the United States of America, authorized by Executive Order 16 January 1969, has awarded the Meritorious Service Medal, 3rd Oak Leaf Cluster, to Lieutenant Colonel David S. Bristow for meritorious service 22 June 2018 to 1 July 2020. Lieutenant Colonel David S. Bristow distinguished himself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States as Squadron Commander, 742nd Missile Squadron, 91st Operations Group, 91st Missile Wing, Minot Air Force Base, North Dakota, from 22 June 2018 to 1 July 2020. During this period, Lieutenant Colonel Bristow inspired airmen and increased the wing's overall readiness to deliver combat capability in support of the National Nuclear Deterrence Mission. First, he led the training, planning, and execution of the unit's most intensive peacetime task with the successful replacement of $520 million in critical launch components at 55 nuclear sites during Operation Olympic Step in both 2018 and 2019. Additionally, Colonel Bristow validated the combat readiness of 63 operators and paved the way for the wing's overall effective rating during the 2018 Unit Effectiveness Inspection, with 2 members recognized as superior performers. Furthermore, he strengthened community ties by providing hands-on tours of missile alert facilities to local civic leaders and first responders, resulting in improved mutual aid and reduced emergency response times. Finally, Colonel Bristow oversaw multiple high-level visits showcasing the wing's mission to national leaders, including the Secretary of Defense, Secretary of the Air Force, and House Armed Services Committee members, where he underscored wing readiness and garnered support for key nuclear sustainment initiatives. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Colonel Bristow reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Colonel Harris, thank you for taking the time to be here this morning. Ma'am, thank you for officiating this event. For those in the audience and on Zoom, thank you for your time. And for those of you in the audience that may not know, the motto for the 742nd is Cloudless Passes, or Key to Peace. And for the past 2 years, I've watched the men and women of the Wolfpack live up to that motto. Time and again, providing stability where there was uncertainty. They don't just dream of a world of peace and prosperity. The men and women of the Wolfpack provided one alert, one tour at a time. And when our nation was faced with a global pandemic and our adversaries sought to exploit it, our unit, our ops group, we defined the Department of Defense's response for COVID-19. And we continue to do so amid blistering operations tempo. I couldn't be prouder. And what I couldn't be prouder of is the way they rallied around one another, like you mentioned, ma'am, as a family. So I watched the Wolfpack family buy groceries for members in isolation or restriction of movement. I watched them provide childcare, take care of each other's pets. As I thought about this and reflected, that culture, that starts from the top. So, sir, Colonel Barrington, Colonel Harris, thank you for setting that culture, for allowing us the trust and support to create that. And ma'am, as I stand in this very spot where I took command 2 years ago, I realize I'm not the same leader I was. I've benefited from your leadership, from your mentorship, from your guidance and perspective, and I appreciate your willingness to listen and your patience with me at times. I also learned a great deal from the airmen under my charge, and I can't tell you how much I've learned, but I've learned a lot more from you than you learned from me. I've also wasn't able to get through this command tour without a fantastic team that this leadership team put in place. So Steve, Mike, Ben, thank you. Your friendships I'll cherish forever. So to my command team, I owe a debt to my command team that words can't convey. And it starts with my Director of Operations, Lieutenant Colonel Saloon. And in his captured the sentiments of many school. But he's the right leader for that. In all seriousness, I couldn't be prouder of him. He'll have a tremendous impact. To my ADOs, Major Ramo, Major High, I leaned on them hard. And they delivered extraordinary results day in and day out. I trust any of them with any task at any level, period. To my flight commanders, my superintendent, my NCOICs, we lead a 24/7, 365 mission. Somehow, they still manage to be the compassionate leaders that our airmen need. I thank you for that. To my family. I'm sorry, but Gotta back up. To the Wolfpack. I'm not gonna reference my notes. To the Wolfpack, when I took command, I sat down with each of you. And I told you that you define success. I'm just here to help you achieve it. I also told you that you do not have my permission to be average. But together, we will endeavor to be excellent. And we did just that. The inspection results, the awards, they speak for themselves. One of the things I'm most proud of, as I reflect on the 2 years, is that almost all of you define success by staying in the Air Force. And in fact, the entire 2 years of my command, only one individual that was in this unit is no longer in uniform. So that's a tremendous accomplishment. And I appreciate everybody's choice to continue to serve. To my family, Kim, Sidney, Dawson, you know, we put our families through a lot. Thank you for your service, your dedication, your love and support. When we moved to Minot, it was our third move in 4 years. And there were some alligator tears, I'm going to tell you, when we got ready to move from D.C. Many of those tears were the result of the young man sitting next to my daughter, but they persevered. And there are going to be more tears as we leave here. We've made lifelong friends. As we're going to miss our Wolfpack family, we're going to miss our church family. But it's time to welcome a new leader and a new family into the pack. Lt Col Shimonsky, his wife Tiffany, and their 2 sons are now going to be members of the Wolfpack family. And once you're a member of the Wolfpack family, you're always a member of the Wolfpack family. Colonel Harris, I think you know a little bit about that. So I'll leave you with this. Cloudless passes, key to peace. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Next, the men and women of the 742nd Missile Squadron would like to present a small token of our grateful appreciation to Kim Bristow. Due to COVID-19 virus protocols, we kindly ask you to accept it after the ceremony is complete. Kim, please accept these flowers displayed on the table for your friendship and support over these past years. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the official change of command.
Officers, publish the order.
Attention to orders. Department of the Air Force, Headquarters, 91st Missile Wing, Minot Air Force Base, Special Order GS 20-021, dated 29 June 2020, by order of the Commander. Lt Col David S. Bristow will relinquish command to Lt Col Daniel W. Schimonsky, 742nd Missile Squadron, Minot Air Force Base, North Dakota, effective 1 July 2020. Signed, Colonel Catherine V. Barrington.
Ma'am, I relinquish command.
Ma'am, I assume command.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commander, 742nd Missile Squadron, Lt Col Shimonsky.
Well, thank you very much to everyone in the audience and everyone on Zoom. I'm just going to take a couple of minutes of your time, if you don't mind. I'm very honored to come work for the 742nd Missile Squadron. It's quite an honor. I believe this day is about the squadron, so I'm going to focus on the squadron. But if you don't mind, at first, I'd like to just spend a couple of minutes thanking some people that got me to this position here today. Obviously, Colonel Harris, I'm quite sure I'm up here because of something you must have said to somebody in some meeting, so I really appreciate it. I don't know what that was, and I probably never will, but I appreciate, sir, the faith you have in me to have said what you said. Ma'am, it's been a pleasure working for you for the past 2.5 years. We've worked together for quite a while, and just like Colonel Bristow said, I know there's probably some frustrations I caused you too, but I know you spent many a time mentoring me in the office too. You could have been doing something else, You could have been working. That took time away from your family. Obviously, you had to stay later to work. But thank you for doing that. I want to say thank you to the former unit that I was a pleasure to be a part of, the 741st Missile Squadron, and to Colonel Thrower and Colonel Harrison for their mentorship. And thank you to Colonel Bristow for the fantastic changeover and for the fantastic job you've done with the squadron and the squadron that you're handing over to me. It already looks like an awesome unit, and I really appreciate it. It should make my life easy and not cause me to lose any more here. And finally, thank you to my family. I won't dwell on it too long because I will lose it, but thank you very much. So, to the men and women of the 742nd Missile Squadron, there is definitely a culture in this squadron. In the 742nd. I've had the privilege, as Colonel Barrington said, of being around the 742nd Missile Squadron on and off for about 15 years, as I've been part of a sister squadrons in this OG. And 742nd people always had a swagger about them, and they still do. That was what we always noticed in the other squadrons. In fact, when the letter came out that I would be taking over the 742nd, I had no less than 4 former squadron commander and DOs, 742nd former squadron DOs and commanders call me and welcome me to the family, kind of just like what you're saying, and told me don't mess it up, by the way, either. Don't mess the culture up. So check, I got it. I understand exactly what's going on. I have 2 real focus areas, and a lot of people have hit this, but this is just what I want to say. There's the mission and families. And I want to first start with the mission. This is not an original thought that I've had. Many of you have heard this before, but if you were to take the 742nd Missile Squadron, uproot its weapon system, its 50 LFs, its 5 LCCs, along with its crew force and facility manager force, and our partners in maintenance and security forces, and you were to transplant this unit into any other country virtually, that country would instantly become a world power. Just think about that. The 742nd, if it were to go to any other place in the world, that country would instantly have world power authority and influence. You are the envy of every other nation, what you do in the 742nd. And it's a tireless job, it's a tireful job, and you're constantly going out to do it at all hours, 24/7, 365, and I think that's awesome. And we all know the role the 742nd plays for this nation too. I won't go any further than that, but it's a critical role that the 742nd plays for this nation. And families. Families are your spouses and partners. They're your children, but they're also your friends, your pets, the people you're close to. It is important that you have time with your families. You do this mission for the nation, but you also do this mission for your families. That's why you come to do it, to protect your families, whatever you define as your family, whether that's folks back home in your home state, folks with you, friends in your community. And you've been doing all of this, balancing the mission and trying to take care of your friends and family in the COVID environment, like we've already talked about. And I know it's been stressful, and I know that you're continuing to push through it. So I'll just leave you with this final thought. It is one of my top priorities to provide you as much stability as you can in the 742nd Missile Squadron, so that you know when you're going to go fight, and you know when you're going to come back and recuperate and reform the bonds with your friends and your family. Again, I'm honored to come work for the 742nd Missile Squadron. I thank you very much, and I look forward to getting to know all of you over the coming weeks. Thank you.
Next, the men and women of the 742nd Missile Squadron would like to present a gift to Tiffany Schimonsky. Again, due to COVID-19 virus protocols, we kindly ask you to accept it after the ceremony is complete. Tiffany, please accept these flowers welcoming you to our family as a member of the 742nd Missile Squadron. We look forward to working with you during your time here. In keeping with Air Force tradition, we will conclude today's ceremony with the playing of the Air Force song. While it is customary for Air Force members to stand, we invite all of our guests to join us in standing for the Air Force song. America, flying high into the sun. Here they come, singing to me our thunder. Adam Cole, give it a gun, give it a gun. Now we rise, starting our players from under. Off with one hell of a roll. We live and bang with the down and bang. Hey, nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. Thank you.